Charge blade mains, I have a confession. I really tried to be a charge blade user, but the switch axe was calling me, so I had to go back. As you've all said, you do not choose the weapon. The weapon chooses you. And I've tried to walk away from my calling, which is the switch axe. And I remember the fun times over the last 2 months as I've switched axe to the left, I've switched axe to the right. I've switched axe with all the best monsters so far. But here in Rise, I don't know what I've been doing. I've been a pretender, trying to be someone that I'm not, trying to be like one of the cool kids with my charge blade. But no more. I'm done denying my true nature, and we're going with switch axe. Pidgey hunts! Welcome back to another Monster Hunter Rise journal where I go through all of Monster Hunter Rise and I hunt every monster and then I document my journey. If you like any of that or what that sounds like, be sure to like and subscribe to the video. You can't subscribe to the video. You can subscribe to the channel and then you can like the video and then you can leave a comment and then you can watch all the other videos. Let's talk about weapons. I think the switch axe is my calling. I haven't been having the most fun with Monster Hunter Rise. I'm going to be a little honest. Especially playing Monster Hunter World next to Monster Hunter Rise. And I'm like, why am I not having the same amount of fun? And I think I was losing out because I was trying to challenge myself with a new weapon. And I was trying to put a triangle piece in a square hole. And I was like, you know, I really have fun with the switch axe. And as much as I want to try all the other weapons, I'm still dating and very much in love with the switch axe. I'm not ready to move on from the switch axe. So I went back to the switch axe and I'm having a good time. And I have the switch skill now. And I'm having a good time with that too because I can do all my usual combo, but now I can thwip in the air and I can thwip into the monster and just slice the tail or the arm as I come. It is so graceful. It is so satisfying. I'm just a switch axe main through and through, and I don't think I can change that. Maybe when I hit 1,000 hours, if I ever get to that, maybe then I'll try changing weapons up. But for now, the switch axe. Let's talk about mechanics. Because I learned, I actually went out and researched something. I thought it was weird that there's this quest giver who keeps making a big deal about these great wire bugs that he gives you. I was like, what are these great wire bugs? And I learned that I've been hoarding these items that I didn't even realize I could go out into the field and plant great wire bugs, which thwip you across the map. And once you plant them, they are there forever. They are like base extensions. And I thought, because the game never made this clear, that they are one case use or that they are like usable items. But no, if you have great wire bugs, you get out there and you plant them. I haven't done this yet. So next time I'm streaming Monster Hunter Rise, we're planting great wire bugs left and right. I don't even know where to plant these things. So once I can do that, then it's going to be a whole different game. And I also learned that there's different camps to unlock. I haven't done that. One thing I have to say before we get into the monsters, I'm getting excited now. The Monster Hunter Rise has a very different element of exploration to the maps, and I'm starting to appreciate it. Like, I'm oftentimes just kind of rushing, going to the monster, but these things are calling to me. I'm like, what's over there? What's over here? And at one point, so we uncovered the volcano level, and chat was trying to guide me to go to a place where I could mine a lot of things. And I had to like back jump, and then they're like, jump there. And I was like, there's nothing there. It's a wall. They're like, no, jump, there's a hole. I was like, what? No, there's a wall. And I did like a leap of faith, and I went through a wall, and I was like, this is a visual illusion. And then I was like inside the volcano, and I could like see the place where like Frodo and Sam were about to like throw the ring into Mount Doom. And then there was like things to explore. I'm just like, there will never be a monster here. This is entirely here just to be found. And I'm like, this game has a very cool sense of exploration, and it made me realize I don't think I've gone on an expedition in Rise to just have fun and explore things. I've been so focused on killing everything and progressing. I really should just chill and just enjoy and explore the levels and find the little nooks and crannies. All right, so that's enough of that, but it's cool because that was not necessarily there in World, and here it's a kind of like new feature of the game, which I like. So when we started, we went straight into my first rampage, and I hate it. I do like the idea behind it. I don't think it works as well in single player, and this is why I can't really grade it. It's also a tutorial level where they throw a bunch of things at you. I think Rampage maybe gets more fun the more I play it and the more intuitive that I start understanding the loop of, okay, we need to make sure we have this kind of weapon, all these weapons here. But for the tutorial, for the most part, I was really just trying to see, like, what can I build? Where can I build? What's happening? How am I using this? In terms of the monsters coming in, I was really afraid it was going to be like the Zora fight in Monster Hunter World. I was pleasantly surprised that you can actually do decent damage with the artillery, and it kind of feels like a type of like stationary shoot 'em up. I don't know what you call that. But it was kind of satisfying, like trying to hit the head and keep the monsters back. And then as soon as the monster got knocked down, I'm like jumping out and I'm like, oh, let's swing our axe. And everyone's like, get back on your artillery. Everyone being chat. They're like, you're not supposed to run. I mean, you can play however you want, but I learned later on that when there's like a bell or a call or a horn, I forget what it was, that goes, then you get the hunter buff, and then you're encouraged to go and slay monsters like in hand-to-hand combat. I just couldn't help myself. I just had to swing my axe to some of these beasts' head. But it was fun, and then we got like the big chunky boy at the end who shows up, and then we fight him, and then we finally got our Magnum Aloe introduction, which, you know, he looked pretty intimidating, but that was my big takeaway. I'm like, oh, okay, he's a little bit bigger and looks kind of more powerful than anywhere else I've seen him. So it was a pretty cool intro, but nothing like an Elder Dragon from World. And then we unlocked the Rampage skill, which is unique to the weapons, which I did not know that was a thing. So pleasantly surprised to learn that there's a whole other layer of skill that you can apply to your weapons on top of like switching your weapons up. Now there's a skill you can add from Rampage. I'm not quite sure how that works yet, but I unlocked a new mechanic to learn more about. Now, when we go into the monster list, I killed 6 monsters this past week. It was a pretty busy week, but we're also still in low rank, so none of these monsters are as exciting to me as, say, my progression in, Master rank in Iceborne. So I'm just really kind of having fun, especially now that I've moved over to the Switch Axe. They're a lot more about just learning how they move and seeing what the combat's about. And I had fun. So Kuluyaku was the first one. And again, that same feeling that I had last week with Baroth, where it's like, it's an old friend. It was a little weird that I couldn't snap a rock at him to make him drop. So I had to kind of work around that because I did that a lot in World. And now he grabs pots and stuff, and sometimes he just holds his rock in defense mode and makes my axe bounce off. But we had a good time playing with Kulu, and we slayed him, and then I could have made armor with him, but I'm not a big fan of his armor set. The next was a new monster for me, the Royal Ludroth, which I really enjoyed this fight. It was a fun fight. I think I learned that his squishy bits are the sensitive parts. I noticed I was doing a lot more damage in the squishy bits. It was also the first fight where I was using the Switch Axe's switch skills. So it's the one where you fly in the air and whoop into him. It was just a really good, fun fight. His armor, it looks like a ripe banana. I wish it was more banana-ish so that I could really own being a banana, but it wasn't bold enough for my taste. Next, we went with the Bishaten, which this is probably the highlight fight for me of the week. So this is a monkey, and so much personality in this fight. He projects well, and he's constantly throwing fruit at you that have different consequences. Once he shields his eyes and throws a flash bomb. Sometimes he just throws a bomb at you. He throws other things, poison bombs at you. He sticks on the walls and stuff. I just loved the personality of this monkey. And at one point I smacked him down and all his fruit went out, and I was like, oh, I can pick this up. And I'm like, oh, I can pick this up. And then I just started hoarding all the items because, oh, if I can rob a monster before I murder, that sounds terrible. But if that sounds really bad. If I can, he was throwing that shit at me. So if I can take it away from him, that feels good. Fun fight. I also really liked his armor. And then we had a Vulvodon. We'll go with Vulvodon. Cute little armadillo. Very cute. I haven't seen an armadillo in Monster Hunter before. I really love the volcano level, although it's huge. I got lost a lot. but it really reminded me of like a Hyrule Warriors, what's it called? Well, the lava level in Hyrule Warriors had similar vibes to that. Stinky boy, you gotta be careful with Vulvodon. He just kind of like lets out the yellow steam. Also looks like a skunk spray. He was a lot faster than I expected, and faster, and I had troubles doing the amount of damage I wanted on him. So it was kind of like, because he moves around so much, I just had troubles landing blows on him. But otherwise, fun fight, cool armor, cool level, cool Vulvodon. Then we jumped over to Basarios, which is another favorite of mine from the week. And this is like a rock wyvern, and I think he's a baby from what I heard. Adorable. He made me cart, so props to you, Basarios. You get another notch on the Monster versus Hey J belt. But this was just a really fun fight to try to figure out. You know, the fact that he was a rock monster makes it that I knew that I couldn't. I think this was one of the monsters where I started using a little bit more of my newfound appreciation for taking a monster head on. Like, I'm learning that if I can be more aggressive than the monster and face it head on, I can create openings for myself. I just have to believe in the heart of the weapon. And it was a really good dance. And the fact that he carded me kind of like raised the stakes. So I'm like, oh, we got to take this seriously. So I'm looking forward to fighting this one again. I enjoyed it. The armor didn't really do anything special for me, but the fight did. Like, this was a fun fight. All the new monsters this week, the Royal Ludroth, Bishaten, Basarios, those were really my top 3 fights. I mean, Vulvodon looked cool, but just the fact that he was hard to actually land a hit on made it a little bit of an annoying fight compared to the other ones. And then we wrapped the whole thing up with having another play date with our Rathian. And this one was so... I don't know what the word is. I don't want to say nostalgia, because I just discovered a Rathian like 2 months ago. But I knew the dance already, and it just felt like I'm just like dancing and like shredding the Rathian. Oh, there goes the tail, riding the wyvern, boom, into the wall you go. And I could have, like, it was second nature. Like, it wasn't the most smooth fight, but I was not intimidated. I remember the first time I thought fought a Rathian, I was like, oh my god, it's so scary. Oh my god, it's hurting me. Scream, scream, scream. And this time I'm just like, where's she at? Where's she at? Come and play. She's growling. I'm like, that's right, you growl. Smack on the face. Shoot fireball, smack on the face. And I'm just smacking. I'm like, there goes your tail. It's a very different feeling. Like, honestly, it's and again, it's because I'm in village quest low rank, so I don't want to taunt the game in its difficulty. But Monster Hunter Rise right now, it's like a very friendly playground where I'm hacking and slashing all my monsters with relative ease, and then I like go to Iceborne later in the week and I just sweat because I'm like, oh my god, what next scary thing is going to hurt me? So the dynamic of emotion I'm experiencing between these two games is just crazy. But I'm not gonna get cocky because I know Rise is just out. There's still a lot of challenge to be had. And it's never going to give me the same level of fear that I got from my first Monster Hunter game, because as a lot of you have said, the hunter skill carries over. So I'm never going to be at that noob level, but as the Monster Hunter rises in difficulty, I'm eventually going to get in that uncomfortable zone of, all right, you got to smarten up and you got to use your noggin. So that's all that I've experienced in Monster Hunter Rise this week. We've unlocked, I think, the 4-star ranks. I saw Barioth is on the list, so I'm looking forward to fighting him. I'm seeing some familiar names now, and I'm like, ooh, what's he like in this game? And I think it goes up to 6-star if I heard right in this game before we wrap up the village quest, and then we start grinding high rank. So looking forward to kind of getting into the high rank quests and really starting to get to that part of the game. But I'm still having fun discovering what monsters are in this. Now we're gonna have a lot of fun discovering all the little nooks and crannies and finding like the scrolls and finding all the spot where to put some great wire bugs and experimenting. So yeah, I have a lot of things I'm still looking forward to in this game. But you'll have to find out in the next journal what those things are as I uncover them. So I'll see you in that journal. And until then, keep it classy.